The control center is ripped straight from iOS 10, and it actually looks really good. The devs actually put an effort into this skin on the clone. So you've got your second page for media controls, and it looks just like iOS 10. So I gotta give them props for that. And if I slide back over here, you've got all the color toggles on the control center, little icons in there, which is really cool. And night shift doesn't really do anything. It's just a Fox control. AirDrop doesn't do anything. Disappointed in that. No 3D touch toggles in here or anything. Flashlight does work. Cool. So taking a look at the camera. Yeah, look at that quality. Oh man, front-facing camera isn't actually too bad. Not too laggy. Oh, there is a zoom. Cool. But I can't find a way to actually change the camera controls or the resolution or anything, or the video resolution from in here. And in settings, if we jump into the camera settings, there's absolutely nothing in there for us to change. So I think it's just a set resolution of 1080p or something like that. I'm going to try and get some camera footage over to you guys just so you can see what this looks like, if it's worth it. I mean, I'm sure this doesn't compare to the real deal whatsoever. But let me get some camera footage. Alright, so let's try this camera out. Look at that resolution. Ready? Try out the zoom. Look at those pixels. Spy camera. So let's get some color in here. I find it funny that the size of the video, the ratio is like 5:4 or something. There's no 16:9 standard or anything like that. But, man, I'm gonna miss summer. Everything's in full bloom. Hey, bees! Before I get bit, those are my bees. Alright, so we got some colors in here. Not too bad, not too bad for 150 bucks. It just looks really blurry on my phone. I can only imagine on the computer screen how it's gonna look. Alright, so disappointing camera, gotta tell you that for sure. But software-wise, I am very amazed. And this is the craziest part. This thing has 3D touch. Not real 3D touch, but Fox 3D touch. So if you actually just hold an icon, it'll bring up the pane for it. You don't get all the options that you do on iOS 10. It's missing one here. But it actually takes you to that relevant page on the camera. You're going to get these. Record slow-mo. It's going to take you to photo. Okay, so that wasn't very well optimized. 240 frames per second. Wow, okay, I gotta try this out actually. Give me a second. 240 frames per second. Here we go. And that was pretty awful. Gotta say, I think that's just regular video recording and no slowdown whatsoever. At least they made an attempt. An attempt was made. Anyways, moving on. There is another 3D touch icon there. So where relevant, you'll get 3D touch icons. On the other ones that you don't get them on, you can start the wiggle process. So kind of cool. App switcher takes an eternity to start up. Nice, but if you ever want to clear your app, you can wait like a minute in between, yeah, and then go ahead and do that. So pretty unoptimized there, but not too bad. The scrolling, the animations, they look pretty good. So you even get a little bit of that new folder icon animation from iOS 10, but a terrible transition in between. And yeah, so here is the real App Store, the Play Store. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi is not working here, so I can't really test it. Battery life seems pretty good. I mean, look at that. You can fit a massive battery in there. In fact, I think I'm going to open this thing up and see what's inside. Not too sure what else to check. Oh, you've got your widgets over here, which actually looks pretty good. You can show more. Oh, wow. Look at that. They actually put effort in on the software side. Dang, they really mimicked iOS 10. I just don't understand why you go through all this effort to make it look like iOS 10. Believe the version number at 9.3.1? What? That makes no sense. So upon first... This is the new V10 format. It's a straight line with... I actually realized that this thing is only running at 512 megabytes of RAM, and the processor is 1.3 gigahertz quad core. So I finally got the internet working. I downloaded Antutu, and wow, these guys are lying bastards. bastards. So look at this. Android version 4.2.2. It was advertised with Marshmallow 6.0. Wrong CPU, really old one. The display is actually the display is pretty much the only thing that became true. The rear camera is not 13 megapixels, it's 8, and there's only 4 gigabytes of storage. As far as RAM goes, this thing is spoofed. It only has 512. It says it has 64 gigs of storage, but in fact, there's only 2 available out of 4, so those lying bastards. So let's go ahead and compare this to the iPhone. It actually says iPhone up here, just to see where we stand on the benchmarks. Alright, so this is the Antutu results for the standard iPhone. 9 times slower than the iPhone 6s, so 9 times difference in performance in GPU and CPU. You're definitely gonna feel it, but it's not 9 times cheaper, which is a disappointing part. Anyways, that's the iPhone 7. I just want to take it apart real quick and see what's inside, and then I'm gonna move on to the 7 Plus. Don't even need any tools to take this apart, just use my fingernails. Alright, now this should come out. Okay, so that's what the inside of this clone looks like. The shell just completely disconnects. That is not how a usual iPhone is put together, but looking closer, looks like there are actually only 1 speaker on the bottom. The port looks really, really bad, like chipped off. Man, these internals look cheap. So you have your SIM card over here. So there actually is an SD card, I'm guessing, on the other side of this panel, this board. Camera looks terrible, very tiny little sensor in there, but it does have a dual LED flash, which I thought was very interesting. So the battery isn't as big as I thought. Look at this, it actually has metal in here, just metal blocks to make it feel heavier, heftier than it actually is. They could have actually gotten this thing thinner if they didn't do this. I don't understand why. Like, I guess it's the reasoning that if something feels heavy, then it's more expensive, it's worth more, and I guess that's what they're doing here. But pretty simple internals here. And actually, I just figured out that this is where the micro SD goes. So if you guys ever want to upgrade your own micro SD in this clone, you can just do that. So there's really no point in paying them to do that. You can upgrade it right away. Kind of cool. So I think they charge like $50 for storage. For extra storage, you can do that.